How's everyone doing? I am Mobile Master Tech back with another one. This is going to be a three-part series of a year-end review of the three wireless networks. I will be talking about T-Mobile today, AT&T. I'll get to them and Verizon next, last. I want to talk about T-Mobile because I have the most to say about them. They've done the most work in my area. They've done the most band configuring and switching around with all the new configurations and whatnot. They've done a lot. I'll give them that. They have done the most work in my county of Marion County, Florida, Ocala, Florida, North Central Florida, located below Gainesville, maybe 80 miles north of Orlando. So for them, they had to start over. They were doing a Nokia conversion. They had to start over with the Nokia equipment. Ericsson came in. I guess they got a deal and they said, hey, Ericsson is now going to be the provider in Florida. So they're switching out Nokia towers, whether it has N41 or not, or if it's legacy, it doesn't matter, with Nokia equipment. So even if it had N41, they had to come back and swap out. So they essentially started this year fresh. They had brand new. Everything was brand new. And they did well for themselves. I actually would like to go in here, and this is my little permit log and whatnot. And I want to see my maps, Google. So I want to check out, I made some maps. I know every tower in the county from every carrier, new, existing ones and new ones that are on the way. All right here, of course. And hell, I even made some of right here of where they need to put towers, and they've been following that. But we're going to go T-Mobile today. Now, as you can see, T-Mobile has more towers than anywhere else in the county. They are color coded. If it's magenta, it is Ericsson. Maxed out, N41, it's got everything. If it's yellow, it's a keep site that has not been touched yet. If it's purple, it's a Nokia tower that has low band 5G, but it doesn't have N41. If it's orange, it's Ericsson, but doesn't have N41, but has everything else. And if it's gray, those are new towers that are coming soon. If it's blue, that's a legacy, untouched, LTE only site. They did, I would say, like I said, they had to start fresh this year. So every purple one they did. So they did a lot of work, right? I can tell you, if you go this way, yesterday I came through, they were working on this keep site. They were working on this one. They already had the antennas completely ripped off. So service in the area could have gotten bad, but it actually didn't. This tower right here covered it very well, as did, there's a tower over here, but it's not in the county limits, so I don't use it. It's not on the map because it's not in the county limits. It's another county, so it's in the villages. So this tower alone covered it just fine. They also just did this one, but they didn't add N41. They just switched the Nokia to Ericsson. And to my surprise, this is a Verizon AT&T site. It's the only one they have in the area. And they're getting on that too. I found that out yesterday. They were putting up the equipment. I was like, what? So that's cool. Over here, you have keep site. They're not doing that. It's got microwave backhaul. They're going to do it, but there is no permit from what I see to do it yet. And then this one's been done for a while. Also, this site right here took 2 years to get. It's had N41 for 20 months. Took 2 years. It went through 3 different upgrades. It had a Nokia N71 upgrade. Then they came back with Nokia N41. Then they came back with Ericsson. And after all 3 upgrades, it still only had 200 gig backhaul. Now it has 1 gig backhaul as of last month. It took almost 2 years. That was ridiculous. Every other tower Seems to be good. You can see they're going out in the forest a little bit right here, but they still have no service about from here to here. Nobody has a tower around this area, so somebody needs to do that. Not even Verizon. No, not even them. And then, of course, going to Salt Springs, they're bad. Over here, they're bad, but AT&T is worse, and they're getting on site with Verizon. So they're trying to go into rural over here. This one, this is just a densification play. They have service. They're just densifying. And a lot of this is densification. This is densification. They don't need it, but, densification. This one, so this is my home site right here. This site is probably the slowest N41 site in the entire county, due to where it's at. It's in the city, the big city limits. This road, Highway 200, is incredibly congested. As you can see, this sector alone, my sector, there's 3 sectors, to each tower. My sector alone has to cover 3 different apartment complexes right here: Green Gables, the Morgan, and Latigo 27. Golden Corral, Jenkins, you see Honda, you see Target, you see Carrabba's, all of this, Panera, Hobby Lobby. There's a Regal Cinemas, Kiki's, Best Buy right here, Regal Cinemas right here. You got Best Buy, it's a Hollywood 16, IMAX, and Screen X, Starbucks, Five Guys, you name it. It has to cover all of this, right? The college site kicks in somewhere around here, over here. And then my tower even goes to the mall. Our mall is 100% my tower. The Walmart over here is 100% my tower. This whole part is too much for one sector to handle. And so my home internet, as you can see, right now is okay. It's at, but wait until the evening times around 2 to 7. Maybe make it 1 to 7. It's going to get worse and worse and worse, and to the point where the ping times goes into several hundred. The downloads go into the 30s. You get heavily deprived. I can pull out my phone hotspot and everything works fine. It's just the home internet, and that tells me something, right? I reached out to T-Mobile, and they said my tower has 99% backhaul usage. And this was in the beginning of the year. So as you know, I live in Florida. Florida in particular has been, everyone wants to be here. We're getting traffic like never before. Our roads are not equipped for this. There's way too many people down here. Traffic has blew up to never before seen levels. Everybody's complaining. Everybody's mad. Like the natives that's been down here for a long time. We don't have it like that. Our tower grid has never been like that. And Verizon took notice, and they said, okay, we have to do something. T-Mobile seems to be taking notice, but they didn't put out a press release. AT&T also made a press release about this, and they said, okay, we're going to fix this. But to this day, there's no small cells from anyone except Verizon, but it's still not on. That came on in February. What was that? February? No, it was March. It was the day after St. Patrick's Day, so it was March when the the small cell was built, and they're still working on it as of today. I've seen them over there. As you can see, the ping times are starting to get a little worse. The downloads are fine for now, but it will go down very soon. It's holiday season though. But this makes my next point for T-Mobile is their home internet is a problem for me, right? I've made it very known on Twitter, been very vocal about it. If you're on a congested tower in a city, this may not be the product for you due to T-Mobile's extreme deprioritization. Now, are there fixes to be had? Of course there are. T-Mobile is not in its stride yet. There's several fixes they could do. They can up the layer count on their on their Ericsson equipment, right? The Ericsson equipment can go up to 16 layers in MU MIMO mode. T-Mobile typically uses 5. All right, there's some areas starting to get 8. This could be 8, but 8 clearly is not enough. It can go up to 16 layers, and that will help distribute better towards different devices. But that won't stop the DPRI on the home internet product. It's just to use up access capacity. However, it doesn't seem like my tower has much access capacity to give, even if the home internet wasn't around. 1 gig backhaul in this particular area is not enough. So for the home internet product, it used to be a great one, but it's starting to get really bad. So I had the Nokia trash can, the B revision one, and it was fine. I had no issue. Everybody had issues, not me. I was great. Until I started noticing more T-Mobile home internet connections in my apartment complex starting to pop up. I've seen a total of 6 now. And that's just my apartment complex. Remember, there's 3 of them right here. Plus, there's a little bit over here. These houses, they connect to it too. And then all of this. Chipotle, you name it. Cane's, Walmart, Best Buy, all that, right? Starbucks, Arby's, they all connect to it. The mall, Applebee's, this entire plaza right here, Cones, Planet Fitness, I'm all connected to my sector. Sometimes the college kicks in, but the college site, which is right here, kicks in, but it just doesn't kick in good enough. I think T-Mobile's answer to this is this site right here. AT&T is on it. They just upgraded it with the C-band DoD, and Dish is on it, and they're getting on it now too. So that's their answer to try to alleviate this problem. If this tower's here, all of this right here will now be under the new tower's influence, which will free up significant capacity for my site. So I do think that's the game plan here to fix this. But you see what's over here. There should be small cells from all carriers. I don't care what's going on. It should have been there, but it's not. So my grade for T-Mobile for the home internet product, and I do thank them for having it, where I live at, Cox ran a monopoly. You could get 5 megabit per second CenturyLink, or you could get Cox at a gig, but it's coax, right? It's coaxial, so you're limited on the uploads. And the price was like $150 if you wanted the unlimited, decked out everything, and that's ridiculous. So when T-Mobile came, I was a beta tester. I've had it for almost 2 years. It was a no-brainer. Now I have the Sagecom T-Mobile. I just traded it in. I got on the $25 deal. Canceled the other line because it wasn't in my name. So this one is in my name, linked to my Sprint account. It had to do it separately, but I still get the $25 deal for the Sagecom. And I like the Sagecom. I think it performs better than the Nokia, especially on uplink. I love it. I love the Sagecom. The only problem is the DPRI. So it didn't fix the DPRI situation. It just made, my speeds good at night. It was already great at night anyway, but the uploads are now faster. My peak uploads with the Nokia were like 90. Now my peak uploads are like 110. So it definitely helped on the uploads. Great job. Year in review though, T-Mobile did do the most tower upgrades, and they're still at it today. I went around yesterday all around the county looking for anyone upgrading, and T-Mobile was doing 3 upgrades at the same time. So they're still moving. With the equipment shortages going on that are starting to free up a little bit, you should see more work being done. I know the CapEx is going down for next year. I personally would keep it up. I wouldn't lower it just yet, but T-Mobile's going to do what they're going to do. There's still a lot of work to do next year. A lot of these towers have permits and they have not been touched yet, so they're going to move. This CapEx is going to move into the first quarter. By then, the CapEx should be used up. I would say by the second quarter, maybe even the third quarter, because some of these permits go all the way up until May. So maybe into the third quarter, it could be complete. And yeah, that's really all I want to talk about with T-Mobile. Speeds have been excellent on mobile. On mobile, T-Mobile speeds in the county are the fastest. Period. Verizon is coming in hot though. They really are, but they haven't been upgrading at a pace as fast as T-Mobile. I know in a lot of areas that is not the case. Verizon has been steamrolling through the network trying to get it upgraded. In my county, that is not the case. Verizon has been kind of slow. They started off with 9 towers in my area in January with C-band, and I'll get to the rest in the next video for Verizon. But for them, I think they're only at like 30 something, maybe 30 towers total this year, which is, double. That's triple what they had before, but I've seen them move much faster in other markets. So I'm like, not that impressed. Peak speeds, T-Mobile's wins. I would say overall, for peak speeds, peak upload speeds, and text. They're really good at text here. I don't know what it is about that, but they're really good at text. They're top notch. Do they always work? Most of the time, I will say in this area in particular, this is a strong suit for them. Sprint had a lot of towers, standalone towers, that T-Mobile's keeping, and Verizon and AT&T only have this site. So T-Mobile's tower grid, of course, with this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one in this area is no contest. T-Mobile obliterates all competition. Lots of homes over here, as you can see. All this is straight residential for the most part. And yeah, they're going to dominate. Also, of course, there's more houses being built. You see this right here, over here. They're clearing all this out for brand new homes. All of this right here, being cleared out as we speak. So T-Mobile will have this site, and this site, and this site will all cover that, no problem. While Verizon is going to have an issue. They're not on any of these sites. So T-Mobile's density is the best, I would say, in my county. Now, I took a trip to Panama City, and T-Mobile was fantastic. There was a stretch where I don't know what was going on with my phone, but there was a stretch where I was on AT&T roaming for like 25 miles, even though T-Mobile had service. It was weird. But there was like a 15-mile gap where they had no service where I took to get to Panama City. And then I took another trip in April to Miami, and once again, T-Mobile was fantastic. However, indoors, Verizon was better. T-Mobile needed DAS systems where Verizon had them, and Verizon just won. They had small cells all over the place, millimeter wave all over the place. T-Mobile did have more towers, more macro sites, but Verizon just had more density. Very impressive for Verizon. I'll talk about that in the video where I discuss them in my year review for Verizon. That's really, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. The home internet, you guys are seeing it, of course, live. It is December 14th, so, and you can kind of see it starting to, it's all over the place. I assure you I am on N41. If you don't believe me, I don't think I'm logged in on this computer, or I would show you guys, but I assure you this device is logged in. I can check on my phone. I'll check on my phone off screen. Let's see, T-Mobile home internet. Wish I could show you guys, but it says excellent connection. 6 devices logged into it. Go into advanced. CQI is 15. RSSI is 56. RSRQ is 12. That's band 2. And the SINAR is 22, which is excellent. The RSRP is 83, which is excellent. N41, I'm connected. The SINAR is 24, which is pretty great. 27 now. The RSRP is 86, and the RSRQ is 11. So all of that is excellent. So you can see I'm simply just being deprived. And you've seen just how quickly this started to happen. Now, I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to get on my my hotspot, right? I'm going to connect to a T-Mobile hotspot. I'm going to hotspot it up. Let's see if I can get this connected. Z Fold 4. Oh boy. Does it show pass? Okay, good. Okay, so I'm connected to Z Fold 4. And I want to see if you guys can see other T-Mobile connections in here. So I can tell you, see all these setups? All of those are T-Mobile connections. Every last one of them. And you see two of them, they went in right here. These are not mine. These are other people's. There's a second Verizon connection too now that I've never seen before. So somebody else got Verizon home internet. That's not mine. Mine is right here. So as you can see, because Cox runs a monopoly in my apartment complex, people are jumping on this product left and right. All right. Hold on. Switch servers. This is my free line though, so it could be dprod too. If I go out and I get my, I don't have my Pixel with me at the moment, but if I use my Pixel, the speeds would be in the hundreds, the pings would be excellent, it'd be fantastic. And if you want to see a comparison for Verizon Wireless, right? And let me show you. I'm gonna click on my Verizon line. I don't know how I didn't have any of these logged in. I know I did. Trying to remember. Okay, so we're logged into Verizon now, right? Let's go ahead and check it. 20. Look at that. It's not even fair, right? It's not even fair. Yeah, the speeds are, a little bit on the lower end, but it works. I can stream 4K. It never low. It's nothing. It's great. It's been a good product, and you're gonna hear about it in my year in review of Verizon Wireless, of course. And I'm gonna save that one for last. I think I'm gonna do AT&T next because they were the sleeper. I had nothing to say about them until very recently. So, it's night and day. It's not even close. But that's gonna do a roundup for that. What I hope for the year in review for T-Mobile next year, I hope, of course, N25 has come to my market. We have what do we have? 40 megahertz on N41, on band 41, excuse me. 150 on N41. And then we have I'm trying to remember what else. 25 on AWS, 10 on N25, 20 on band 2, 5 on band 12, and that's it. When Dish showed up, they took N71 5 megahertz on LTE away. So when they showed up, we lost that. But it didn't really make that much of a difference. It's just 5 megahertz. It didn't really matter. So they have a lot of spectrum here, more than anyone else on air. So I've went around, like I said, my tower for sure 100% is the most congested tower in the county because of where it's at. Not even the downtown tower, due to a better grid of towers around it, is as bad as this one. That one still pulls anywhere from 400 to 600 all day long. No problem. So that's going to do it for this review. If you like what you see on the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Tech Life channel for you know, being there on Twitter for me. Shout out to Tech Extremists. Shout out to Checker. Shout out to Sneed.